The big lights in the ceiling, at the Grand Hyatt Seoul, sent a yellow glow all over the big room, where a lot of important people were talking to each other. This was a night for stellar events. They were celebrating 10 years of being in business. Amara Chen was standing near the stage. She was really tired. She had been working on this party for months. Amara Chen was wearing a red dress that fit her body just right. Her hair was pulled back, looked nice. It had taken a time to make her hair look like that. Amara Chen looked at her phone again. Marcus was supposed to be, but he was 40 minutes late. Amara Chen was waiting for Marcus. She wanted to know where Marcus was. The man who was talking into the microphone said, "Ladies and gentlemen," his voice was really loud in the room. "He told us that we were going to have a surprise tonight. The surprise was going to be something. For the people who were there, the special surprise tonight." Amara's stomach dropped when she saw the person getting up on the stage. With Marcus, he was wearing that navy suit she had helped him choose. He took the microphone. He seemed really confident, which was not like him at all, because Marcus usually did not like talking in front of people. At first, Amara was happy to see Marcus arrive. Then she started to feel confused. That was when she saw Chloe, her friend, from college, being led to the stage by another friend, and Amara did not understand what was going on with Marcus and Chloe being there together. Marcus started to talk. "I know, this is not normal," he said. His voice was loud enough for everyone in the crowd to hear. "When you know something feels right, you have to do it. You have to take that moment with both hands, because it might not come again. And that is what I want to do with this moment. With the moment that Marcus is talking about. The moment that Marcus knows is right." Amara's heart started beating fast. She and Marcus had talked about getting married. Not in a situation like this, especially not at a work thing she was hosting. Amara fixed her dress, getting ready to go talk to Marcus. When Marcus completely turned his back on Amara, "Chloe Kim," he said, as he got down on one knee, and the people around them started to gasp in surprise. "Chloe Kim, you have shown him what real love is about." He wanted to know if Chloe Kim would be willing to marry him. The world seemed to tilt on its side. Amara saw her best friend put her hand over her mouth like she was totally shocked. Then she started crying, said yes to the ring. The same ring Amara had found in Marcus's drawer a month ago. The room was filled with people clapping. Her co-workers turned around to look at Amara with eyes and a little bit of curiosity, like they were wondering what she was thinking. Amara felt like everyone was staring at her. It was all because of the ring and what it meant for her and Marcus and her best friend. Her smile was gone. 2 years of her life with her friend in Seoul's event planning industry were not what they seemed. Everything they had planned and dreamed about together was a lie. The room felt small. The walls were closing in on her. People were. It was really loud. She had to get out of there. She walked through the crowd, and her eyes were blurry because she was about to cry. She did not want to break down in front of all the people in Seoul's event planning industry. She just wanted to escape. Seoul's event planning industry was everywhere. She felt trapped. The night air was really cool on her face when she ran into the ballroom. She did not get very far. She ran into someone. It felt like she hit a wall. This person had strong hands, and they grabbed her to keep her from falling. When she looked up at him, she saw that his eyes were incredibly dark. This man was very tall and really good looking. He had cheekbones, and his black hair was styled perfectly. The suit he was wearing was probably very expensive. It likely cost more than her car. The stranger's suit was charcoal colored. It looked great on him. The ballroom's entrance was still behind her. She was not thinking about that anymore. She was thinking about the man in front of her. Something crazy took over. It could have been the way she was treated badly, or the fact that someone she trusted did something wrong to her. Or maybe she just wanted to feel something else. For a change, instead of this hurt. Before Amara could think things through, Amara grabbed his fancy suit jacket with her fists. She said, "Go with it, please," in a very quiet voice. Then she pulled him down and kissed him. This kiss was totally different from the kisses she had with Marcus. The kiss she gave him was not like those gentle kisses at all. She really kissed him this time, not like she did with Marcus. The stranger stopped moving for a second before he put his arms around her waist and pulled her close. To him, he took charge of the kiss. He kissed her like a man who really knew what he was doing. His lips moved on hers with a lot of passion. This made her knees feel weak. One of his hands got stuck in her hair. The other hand pressed on her back. Amara forgot about the party, and Marcus, and everything else except the stranger, and the way he was making her feel. The stranger was kissing her. That is all that mattered to Amara. When they finally broke apart, she was really out of breath. The stranger's eyes had a glint in them, and something else that was darker and more scary. This guy said greeting in a really deep voice. It was so deep that it gave her the chills. He spoke Korean well, but the way he said it sounded like he was in charge. It made her think that people usually did what he told them to do. He spoke Korean perfectly. It was the kind of perfect that sounded like he was used to giving orders, like people always listened to him when he spoke. Korean. The ballroom doors swung open fast behind them. Her boss, Mr. Lee, came out. He looked really worried. When Mr. Lee saw her, his face turned white because she was still standing close to the same person. Mr. Lee looked at her, the person she was standing close to, and he seemed very upset. The person she was standing close to was still next to her, and Mr. Lee did not like that at all. Mr. Park, he stammered, bowing so low he nearly toppled over. I didn't know you'd arrived. 3 weeks had gone by since the thing that happened at the charity auction. Zara was now living in a world that was completely new to her. She was staying in an apartment on the top floor of a building. Minjun had told her to stay because he said it was safer for her. The apartment had windows that went from the floor to the ceiling. From these windows, Zara could see the city of Seoul. It was a beautiful view. Now the windows made her feel like she was in a fancy prison. Zara was standing in front of the windows. She was wearing pajamas made of silk. These pajamas cost a lot of money, more than she used to pay for rent every month. She was watching the city wake up and trying to make sense of everything that had happened to her. The charity auction disaster had changed her life in a way. Zara was still trying to understand what was going on. Minjun said, "You are up early," from behind her. Minjun moved quietly, which still made her feel weird. Today, Minjun had on a black t-shirt and jeans, not his usual suits. Minjun still walked around with that scary kind of smoothness that she knew all too well about Minjun. Zara said she could not sleep. She turned to face him. "Your men found something, did they not?" She asked about the men. Zara wanted to know what the men had found. His jaw got tight. That was the way you could tell he was feeling something. The painting showed us a bank account number. It was an account, which was no surprise. He got himself a cup of coffee. He did it in a very careful way. To get into the account, we need 2 people to sign. We need my signature and the signature of the painting's owner, which is you, mine. Zara looked really confused. That made Minjun smile, but it was not a happy smile. My father was a weird guy, but he was also super smart. He knew I would need someone who was good with money and was not part of our family or friends. The account was set up so that I could use it, and someone from outside our circle could use it too, only if they had the right kind of experience. He looked at her, a person who was good with numbers, like you, Zara, and who worked at the company you worked for. My father had been keeping an eye on you, Zara, for a time, even before we met at the auction that night. The news really scared her. Your father planned for me too. Minjun moved closer to me. I caught the smell of his cologne mixed with something that is just him. He wanted to find out who killed him. Yes, I think he knew the people who did it were from the organization. He needed someone who was not involved in it, someone they would not think of, to help figure out who his killers were. That is what he wanted. Minjun was looking for someone the killers would not suspect, and that someone was supposed to help expose his killers. A knock at the door interrupted them. One of Minjun's men came in, bowed his head a little. He said, "Sir, your uncle wants to meet with you. He is being very pushy about it, Minjun." Minjun's face turned sad and angry at the same time. His uncle, who Zara had found out about, was the person they thought had killed his father. Now, his uncle was in charge of the family businesses that were not very honest. Tell him, I will meet him at the Blue Dragon. I will bring my girlfriend with me. After the man left, Zara crossed her arms. I do not want to go near your uncle. The time Zara encountered his men, they tried to kidnap Zara from a coffee shop, and that was a really bad experience. For Zara, Zara is still scared when Zara thinks about what happened at the coffee shop. Minjun said, I want you to stay close to me. Minjun's hand was on her cheek. It felt really soft. I need this person to think that Minjun and this woman are really together. This person is already wondering why Minjun is with someone. From the outside, all of a sudden, this is crazy, Zara said to herself. She could not help feeling drawn to his touch. For weeks now, their pretend relationship had started to feel really real. The way he looked at Zara when he thought she was not paying attention, how his hand always seemed to find hers when they were in a room. The real smile that came across his face when Zara used her skills to figure out another part of his father's mystery. Minjun said to her, we already know about the family money from the work you did. You found out 3 secret companies that my uncle is using to hide money. You are not just pretending to be someone anymore, Zara. You are very important to this. Now Zara is really important to this family holdings thing. We need Zara to help us with the family holdings and the secret companies and the money laundering that my uncle is doing with the family holdings. Zara is doing a job with the family holdings and finding out about the secret companies that my uncle uses for money laundering with the family holdings. When it is all over, she asked, saying the thing that had been bothering her. When the family has the control and the justice they want. What she wondered about the family and their justice, his thumb rubbed her cheekbone. That depends on whether you can forgive me for pulling you into this world of trouble, he said. His voice became really quiet. Whether you want to stay in this world. Before she could say anything, his phone started buzzing. The message on the phone made him look really angry. Get your clothes on, he told her. His uncle, David, and Lisa were having breakfast at the Blue Dragon. His uncle was using David and Lisa as a way to get what he wanted. Zara's blood ran cold. Despite everything, she did not want her ex to get hurt in this situation. Minjun, I'll protect them, he promised, already moving toward his room. But this ends today. The courthouse steps were right in front of Naomi as she fixed her briefcase. Her navy suit looked perfect after all the crazy things that happened in the last 6 months. Taehyun was standing next to her, wearing his black clothes. He made her feel safe, also a little scared. Today was the day that would change everything. The trial would be over, all the lies would be out, and who knows what Naomi and Taehyun had would be gone too. The courthouse steps seemed to be waiting for them, and Naomi was not sure what would happen next. Naomi thought about the trial, and Taehyun and her. She felt nervous. Today was a day for Naomi and Taehyun. The moment you tell everyone what you know, there is no going. Taehyun said in a quiet voice, his dark eyes looking at all the reporters down below. His hand touched hers, which was something that had happened a lot. It still gave her a funny feeling every time. My grandfather will not be able to keep you safe once this case is finished, Taehyun said. The case and my grandfather's protection are, when the case is over, his protection ends. Naomi knew what his words really meant. If she testified against Eric and the people who worked with him, it would not just be about the money they laundered. It would also be about Taehyun's family and the people they knew. The fact that Taehyun, who was part of a powerful family in Korea that was involved in crime, was willing to talk to the authorities was a big deal. Nobody had ever done that before. He was giving up everything that mattered to him. He was doing it for justice, and for Naomi. He was doing it because he cared about her. I know what I am risking, she said, thinking about the partnership she had been offered to stay quiet, the threats, the promises. The senior partnership at the firm was a deal for her. Everything she had worked for at the firm would be gone. the moment she told the truth about the firm. "But I also know what happens if we do not stop the people at the firm," she said. Thinking about the firm and what they were doing, the last few months went by fast for her. She thought about all the nights she spent looking at money papers in Taehyun's safe apartment. She had to be careful because Eric wanted to hurt her when he found out she knew much. Taehyun taught her how to use a gun. She got pretty good at it. She found out she was stronger than she thought. What really surprised her was that she needed Taehyun to stay safe. She needed him for more than protection. Taehyun had become really important to her. Naomi. Sarah's voice made them both turn around. Her former best friend looked really tired. Her fancy clothes could not hide how stressed out she was because of being stuck at home. "Please. I know I do not have the right to ask you for anything. Eric, he threatened me too. I never wanted anything to do with this." "Save it for the judge," Naomi said, to stop her, surprised at how cold she sounded. The woman who was so upset at her birthday party was not there anymore. Now she was someone tougher, someone with an edge. Taehyun had shown Naomi that when you want to survive, you have to become the kind of person that your enemy is afraid of. That is what Taehyun had taught Naomi about survival. When Naomi walked into the courthouse, she felt like people were staring at her. Eric was sitting at the table for the person who did something, and his face looked really angry. The courtroom was filled with people, like businessmen and politicians that Eric had worked with, and they were all worried that Naomi would say their names too. Naomi saw the businessmen and politicians looking at her. She knew they were thinking about Eric and what he had done. "Remember," Taehyun said quietly as she walked up to the witness stand. She wanted the other person to know that everything they had worked for, everything Taehyun and this person had built together, does not have to end. Taehyun and this person had built something together, and Taehyun did not want it to end here. Naomi's eyes met his. In that moment, she saw the real person behind his tough face. She saw the man who had stayed with her through dreams. The man who had chosen to love her instead of following his family's bad ways. The man who had given her a chance to have a life that scared her and excited her at the same time. This new life was about working with him to build companies that would rise from the bad things his grandfather had done. Naomi would be in charge of the part of these businesses, and she would help him make something good happen. When Naomi lifted her hand to take the oath, she saw the ring box in Taehyun's jacket pocket. This was the ring box that Taehyun thought Naomi had not seen. Naomi's heart started beating fast. Naomi's voice was calm when she started to talk. Every word Naomi said was like hitting her life with a hammer. Naomi was basically ending her life with her testimony. The words Naomi spoke were really important. Naomi's old life was finished because of what Naomi was saying. Hours later, Eric was taken away in handcuffs. The courtroom got really crazy. At that moment, Naomi was with Taehyun again, standing on the steps outside the courthouse where they had been before. She was in Taehyun's arms. It felt like no time had passed at all. Taehyun's arms were around Naomi more, holding her close on those same courthouse steps. He asked her if she had no regrets. He was really close to her, his lips touching her hair. "None," she said in a voice. "You should know that corporate law is not usually like this. It does not usually involve this shooting with guns. Corporate law is really not about gunfire." His real laugh was loud. It came from deep inside his chest. "I will try to not be too violent. I do not promise anything about the part where I ask someone to marry me." Naomi pulled back to look at him. She saw her future in his eyes. It was a future that was dangerous and uncertain. It was also a future that was absolutely worth taking a chance on. "Just do not do it at my birthday party," she said to him. Naomi wanted to make that very clear to him. "About her birthday party." "Deal," he said, then kissed her as the cameras flashed around them, sealing their new beginning with a promise born from betrayal but forged in truth.